Hey there, welcome back to Twin Oaks Family Farm, and thanks for joining me on our YouTube channel, Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. We're here in this little meat bird production pen. We've been calling it a starter pen. Now we're going to call it a grower pen. Same pen, same birds. The birds are just in a different phase of production. We raise them for 6 weeks, so we kind of delineate that into 3 2-week segments, and in the beginning we say they're in the starting phase, and in the middle we say they're in the growing phase, and then the last 2 weeks we call it the finish phase. And there are significant differences in those times. They just grow so rapidly that they have to have more and more space to get to feeders, more and more space to get to waters, more and more space to fit under supplemental heat, more and more space just to spread out. So this is just an end of the day well check on our birds. Temperatures got up in the 50s here in rural southeast Ohio, USA on November 2nd, 2023. It got sunny. It was a pretty nice day. These birds did really well. It did get to 23 overnight last night, and we're going into a little bit warmer couple of weeks, but we're still going to see temperatures in the 30s overnight, temperatures in the high 50s and 60s in the daytime, probably for like the next 2 weeks. So at this evening check, we're just observing the birds for a few minutes, making sure that all the birds are living, scanning the pen for birds that could have possibly died. We have not lost any. In the last several days, we still have 100 birds in this flock. We started with 102. They were hatched October 18th, 2023. They do go to processing November 30th, 2023, but they're a little over 2 weeks in, and they're doing good. There's really good uniformity in size across the flock. Hopefully they've stayed warm enough, and thus we have the supplemental heat. Whenever we check the building, we are always checking the heat lamps, and so at this evening check, when we walked in, first thing we noticed is we have a heat lamp out here, and I'm curious, sometimes we have like a, yeah, so I don't know if that just has to do with the socket. I'll be checking that light closer after I'm recording, but I'll unplug it and check. The bulb could just have loosened somewhat. Sometimes the birds bump it or get to flapping their wings or posture at each other. We got some over there flapping their wings. So sometimes when they do that, you know, they'll hit that fixture, and if it gets hit enough, sometimes it loosens the bulb. We'll try to step in here without disturbing them too much and go over toward the other feeder. We're keeping the building closed up. It is about 30 outside, so it'd be cold. It'd be really cold outside for them, but they look pretty content in here. They want an ambient temperature of about 85 degrees. So they look pretty content, but we've got birds using that feeder as well. So I'm not going to add feed at this point. They probably will clean up and empty all of that feed overnight. In their waters, these 2 waters hold 10-gallon total. I love using these waters with flocks, you know, well, I thought I could get that off. I love using these waters with flocks of like this size flock is 100. Even we've had some flocks 300 birds. We love using these waters with them because we can just take the lid off the top to check how much is in there and to fill it. So each one holds 5 gallons, so total we could have in here at a time is 10. Both of those are down quite a bit, so they've probably consumed about 8 gallons in the last 24 hours, and that's right on target. We are getting a very easy, we're getting at a point, I'm sorry, lost my train of thought. We are getting at a point where we have a very easy observation point on which birds are males and which birds are females. So there are folks, and I know we have viewers that are skilled in telling that very early on by the feathering that's coming in on the wings. I do a little better when we're getting closer to like 3 weeks in with the birds, picking them out because they're starting to get more prominent combs and more prominent wattles on their faces. So, if you see a comb that's getting really red and prominent, that's generally a male, and the female's comb is less pronounced, and wattles are less pronounced and paler in coloring. So with the strong light in here, it's hard to pick them out right at the moment and show that in their camera. But in the coming days, as we follow this flock, we'll do that. We'll try to look at which is guys and which is gals. But they're doing pretty well. They're not bunching up too badly under these supplemental heat lamps, and we've encouraged them to move around so we can watch them walking and moving, and they're all moving well. The birds are doing good. So they're just, they're doing great. So you're looking at Cornish rock cross meat chickens that are 16 days old. And we generally can have Cornish rock cross meat chickens ready to be processed into poultry at about 6 weeks. So like 42 days old. So one question going on in our minds is, will these birds need to be moved during production to a larger area? In theory, we should be able to complete production with them in this pen, but in reality, based on our experience raising Cornish rock cross meat chickens, in general, if we can give them a little more room than this for this size flock, that's better. I would say in general, my comfort level in this size pen, which is about 13 foot by 13 foot, would probably be about 70 birds. It doesn't look bad now. They don't look crowded now, but you put like 3 more weeks on these birds and they're gonna like fill in pretty much all of this floor space. So, but they're doing great. Join us again back in the barn and we'll keep you posted on their progress.